I'm really hopeful for this last month of the year. You guys know this year has been a little bit of a struggle for me as far as financial goals have gone. I've done really well, don't get me wrong. I'm behind. I had a goal for the year. I'm not going to make it, but that's okay. I still really hope to go out with a bang and finish December pretty strong. We shall see. I'll be quick. My budgets are pretty quick. They're pretty basic. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. I have 6 figures of student loan debt left. Well, to be more specific, just over $160,000 of student loan debt. I started this whole journey with over $230,000 of not just student loan debt, but also credit cards and a used car loan and medical bills and all the things, but it doesn't matter. We're down to just federal student loans, 1 loan payment, but it's still a big lump. So I have this life game plan I came up with a couple years back to eliminate them by the end of 2025, and it's an aggressive plan. It has been an aggressive plan. I'm trying to go at a breakneck pace, and it's been a journey. I'm doing amazing, but I'm just not quite hitting the aggressively lofty goals that I hit for myself, which is totally fine. But the only way I do that is by intentional weekly money moves in my Transfer Tuesday videos and having a monthly budget that I don't break my back to stick to. I don't do zero-based budgeting. I don't do cash envelopes or anything like that. I just have an outline of what I essentially hope to kind of spend each month, and I keep my monthly expenses really low. So you guys have seen me chop those away as I've gone over the last couple of years, and I live very intentionally to keep them low. So overall, I'm doing great. I just have been struggling a bit this last year, kind of mental health wise, and dealing with burnout and such, and not hitting my goals. And I'm only sharing this with you because it's now the final month of the year, and you all already know this. I share all of this with you guys every week, but just kind of recapping the year as a whole before we get into December's budget, just for all of you who might be new here. That's where I'm at. That's my story. I am a spreadsheet person. I don't obsessively spreadsheet every single expense. I just, at the end of the month, I add up everything I spent in each category, but I don't like line by line item as I spend throughout the month. I used to be that way, but that is like a full-time job in itself. So I don't do that anymore. You guys know that. But so I keep my budget pretty basic. So I'm just going to go through that relatively quickly. So here is the December budget. I use Google Sheets because it's accessible from any internet source, so I can jump on it on my phone, computer, work computer, whatever, and edit as whenever I want. So I really love that functionality about Google Sheets. But here's December. So I always start at the top with my income. Now, my biggest source of income at this time is my W-2 income, which you guys know I am not a fan of. The whole point of all of the debt freedom, this whole debt journey situation, is to get away from this job. But for now, it's paying me a decent salary. And every single month, I have a goal of making $5,360 in take-home pay. So this is the minimum I would ever take home in a month if I just worked a normal 40-hour work week every single week of the month. But you guys know that never happens. I work a rotating shift schedule, so I'm constantly cycling through first, second, and third shift, and on work weekends, so I get overtime and shift differential all the time, so I never really make just the basic, but it's the goal. And like I said, that's take-home pay, so that's after my 401k contributions taken out. That is after my car insurance is taken out automatically, which is nice for automating your finances if you have that option through your employer. That's after HSA contributions are taken out. What else am I missing? Obviously health insurance, things like that. So this is take home pay. My goal, $5,360 take home a month. My next income is from the rental property that I bought in 2021. And my goal for that is $459.24 in monthly cash flow. And as you can see from the note, the tenant pays $734 a month in rent. Property management takes there is that 9%, I believe, $66.06 every month, and then they send me the rest, out of which I pay the $208.70 mortgage. So what's left over is $459.24. If you are familiar with real estate investing, that's not pure cash flow. You also want to be setting aside 5 to 10% of your monthly cash flow for repairs and maintenance, vacancy, capital expenditures, things like that. I just save the entire lump sum, and that is growing in its own real estate account that is going to be building and saving up for the next rental property. So I save all of that, but that is my monthly goal, as long as the tenant or the property itself doesn't require any repairs or maintenance or things, which obviously happens here and there. And then my next income source is YouTube, of course. I just have a goal of hitting the $100 payout threshold. So I've been paid out in September, October, and I will get paid in November. Now it's paid like a month behind. So on December 21st, I'll get paid out for November. So this technically will be referring to the month of November. So it's just $100 is the goal to get paid from it. If not, oh well. Now my expenses, of course, generally everybody's biggest expense is their living expenses, and I am no different. I pay, helps if you click on the right thing, $15.25 a month in rent. That's what it should be. So, electricity, I budget $60. It's really been running less than that, so it should be. I haven't gotten the bill yet, but that's just how much I set aside for it. And then same for internet, $59.99. Mohila, who is the loan servicer for my federal student loans, they are all with Mohila, and of course they are still in forbearance, extended now until the end of this student loan litigation business. Stay tuned, I guess. So that's still at a zero payment. And then the gym, $22.99. Netflix is always $19.99. Groceries and food, we budget $4.50. Do we ever stick to that? I think I did once in 2023. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a very strict budgeter. That just doesn't work for my life anymore. I don't have the mental capacity, but I aim for $4.50 a month. Gas and car wash. Why did I put 60? I don't know. That's low. I've been spending a lot more on gas lately. When I built this template, it was months and months ago, before the gas pump inflation. So maybe I'll go back and change that in a minute, but whatever. Pet supplies, I budget roughly $25 a month. Normally what happens is I'll order stuff for them every other month is when I need food and litter and things for the cats. And then on the other months, sometimes I spend $0, so just whatever. And massage, I budget $115. Self-care, y'all, self-care. Invest, I always have a goal of $100. Donate, I donate $50. Savings. So this is student loan savings. Now here is where I want to end the year strong. I was hoping to save $30,000 this year, which was $2,500 a month, which I have not been able to do many months this year. But in December, I want to try my best, So I've set a goal for myself of $3,000, and I set that I feel good about being able to save that, just because, knock on wood, I don't have any foreseeable big expenses coming up. I have a trip down to Florida at the end of the month to see my parents, but I purchased that plane ticket in a previous month, so that's already paid for. Christmas gift from my partner and I paid for in a previous month also. And what else? I don't know. I don't have big things coming out, but I do anticipate a decent paycheck in the first paycheck of December because I just worked Thanksgiving and the day after, both of which were holiday pay for me. And in fact, my supervisor allowed me to get overtime on Thanksgiving since my day was ruined anyway. Because when you're on second shift, you kind of miss like lunch and dinner time. So I wasn't able to see family anyway, so I figured I might as well go in, make some holiday overtime, which is, so I'm hoping that works out well in my favor as far as this savings goes. So we'll see. It's a goal. 3,000, that's where we're at. But we'll see how we do. Spending 300 is always my goal. Ooh, we all know that one's almost as bad as the groceries and food, but whatever. And then that's for random crap that comes up in the month. I have it at 0 just because I don't foresee, like I said, knock on wood, don't foresee anything coming up. So remains to be seen, but right now she's at 0. I don't know. But I am gonna gas and car wash. We need a little bit more love there. We're gonna say 150 because that seems more accurate. We've been doing some driving lately, so you know, is what it is. And then the next category is debt. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have $160,550.22 remaining in student loans. Which reminds me, now that it's December, I don't know what happened, but my employer did not make a November student loan payment like they were supposed to. Something's fishy there. I haven't seen any emails about it either, so I'm just waiting until now that it's officially December. Now I can be like, WTF? Hello? Because that is some bullshit. They were supposed to start in October, and they put off making the October payment until the 29th of October, or whatever it was. I don't remember, but I did share it with you guys. It was right at the end of the month, so it's like, that's not technically, by the time it like clears into the actual student loan account, it was early November, so that was really annoying. But they didn't even, I at least got an email notification when it happened a week prior to it actually clearing into my account. So no email, nothing. So I'm irritated. I hope they didn't decide to not make payments just because the forbearance was extended even further, because they didn't email anyone about that if that was the case, which is uncool. More to follow. But anyway, that's where I'm at. As you can see, my 2022 goal, like I said, was $30,000. I ended November with $28,650 saved, which $4,800 is from last year. So that's not all from this year, but it's still all getting saved, and it will continue to get saved even next year since the forbearance is not ending at the end of this month like we all thought it was going to. I mean, how many times have they said that now? Now it's like, okay. So whatever. It's all in one lump in one account. We'll see how much I actually add to it. But if you did subtract what I do currently have saved for them, I'm down to $131,922, which is cool. Sure. I don't know. It's still nauseating. And the last category is my sinking funds. So you guys know I have a $10,000 goal for an emergency fund, which I last left off with $2,865. That's where we ended November. So I've been trickling money at that. And I have had hopes and dreams of a car, vet, and medical fund for the last 2 years at least. I would just like a couple $1,000s in there just to cover, you know, the yearly crap that comes up, like your car registration and inspection and stuff like that, as well as any surprise vet or medical expenses that might come up. It would just be nice to have a little bit of lump to have set aside for those, so I don't have to worry about cash flowing them right then and there out of the immediate paycheck, just in case. You never know. I've been fine so far, but it would be nice to have that cushion And same with this new category that I added for November, called annual expenses. So I have yearly expenses. If you guys have been following, you know I switched to Mint Mobile back in September. And instead of paying Sprint $60 a month, I now pay $360 a month because I did upgrade. I haven't told you guys yet because I did it in November, so that'll be in the November budget review, but I did upgrade to the unlimited plan just because my partner lives like an hour and 20 minutes away, and that's a lot of like Pandora and GPS usage there and back each way. So, and I only use the GPS to look at which way is best for traffic. I'm not a ding dong, I can get there at this point, but anyway, it was just really heavy on the data and I was like blowing through the data, so I just upgraded to unlimited. But that's $360 for the year as opposed to $60 a month. So I'm still loving Mint Mobile, in case anyone's wondering. Fantastic. I always have that link down below for you guys. It's been lovely. I had Sprint / T-Mobile, whatever, and Mint uses the same towers, so I've noticed zero difference in the phone service, and I'm paying so much less money. But anyway, so yeah, annual expenses between cell phone, my LLC annual fee, my business annual fee, my I need to hold a business license in the state that I live in, and I need to hold a business license in the state that my rental property is in, which is Missouri, and I need to hold a registered agent in the state my rental property is in for legal purposes. So all of those things added up is roughly $2,000. So I just want to have a sinking fund for those annual expenses as they come up. And then travel fund would be nice too, someday. It's got $50 in it that I put in, I don't know, back in September or something, to cover the airport fee when I go down there later this month. While my car sits at the airport. This is kind of a running joke at this point. Anyway, and then of course, my Roth IRA. Still sitting at $950 contributed so far this year. Why is this funny? I don't know. I find it amusing. But as I keep alluding to, I am going to very soon, hopefully in the next few days, get out my 2023 money goals, and I'm going to be kind of reprioritizing things so that things actually get funded and I don't just have to keep talking about them at a zero balance for years. It's kind of embarrassing, but anywho, stay tuned for that. That's all. That's December. That's great. So really ballpark total expenses $5,800. My income from my W-2 should be more than that. Hopefully it will. Like I mentioned, I save all of the rental income, and I also put all of the YouTube income straight to my emergency fund. So those are not like amounts that are adding to the amount that I can actually spend. So hopefully this W-2 income will be more than this expense goal total. So we'll see. It's always a fun game, right? Anyway, that's all I have for that. I'm gonna shut that off. Either way, I feel good about a $3,000 student loan goal. Everything else has been roughly the same for me, expense-wise, budget-wise, the whole year. So once you kind of like get in the flow of working with a certain amount of money for this, you kind of loosely understand where you're at as the month goes. Like, oh, I've been to the grocery store 6 times already in the last couple weeks. I'm probably doing fine. You know, I don't even know if that makes sense, but I've noticed that I kind of operate pretty steady as far as my expenses go. Even though a lot of them are usually over budget, I'm never like, holy shit, I didn't just drop $1,000 on this unnecessary thing that I didn't need, or I suddenly decided I need to start shopping at Whole Foods organic only all of a sudden. You know, you get to know yourself, and it's just, I've found it's a lot easier. I have kind of a range I usually operate in, which is why I don't strict budget anymore. Before, when money was really tight and I had to be strict, and then I got this job and money wasn't so tight, it took me a little while to kind of figure out that balance of being a bit more comfortable in my day-to-day life, as in allowing myself to buy a name brand cereal or something once in a while instead of just store brand. If you've been there, you get it. So, but it takes a little while to figure yourself out. And then once I eliminated all of the credit card debt and the car loan and the bullshit, the private student loans, and my expenses really evened out, it got a lot more comfortable to be able to kind of have that thermostat of where I'm spending each month. So it's been nice to be able to operate from that and kind of loosen the grip on the reins of the needing to itemize or track every single swipe of my card. I absolutely value that season of life when you have to be in that place. I get it. It has its purpose. Obviously, if you have to only spend this amount, you have to only spend that amount, and you have to be diligent with your finances. So I get it. It's a privilege and a blessing that I don't have to be that strict anymore. So that's just kind of a bit more of an explanation on why my budgeting style is a little bit looser nowadays. Like, things aren't quite so tense for me, which is nice, even though I get down on myself about my goals, and the only way to tackle them faster is to be more tense, but then I feel like you lose a bit of mental happiness when you do that. So it's always a balancing act, right? We're just trying our best month after month. You got to figure out what works for you and your family and whatever, and just kind of take it from there. And sometimes you got to try things out, and that didn't work for me, but I'll try this and that sticks with me, or that aspect of what that person does works for me, and so I'll implement it over here, and it just takes time. So that was probably a gross over explanation, but I feel like it's kind of important to talk about those things and kind of realize that it's okay to restructure yourself and your game plan and how you've been operating, especially, it's December. There's a new year coming and people are goal setting, and, it's just kind of nice to take a fresh perspective sometimes when the new year is coming. So people are generally in more of that mind space of, okay, what have I been doing this year? Is it working for me? Is it not working for me? What are some maybe tweaks I need to make? And budgeting is certainly one of those things that is very personal and very tweakable. So, for the most part, not always. I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you for watching. Like I said, 2023 goal video is coming very soon. I know you guys are very excited for that. I appreciate all of your amazing comments. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.